So here they come then to say their farewells at the end of what's been a fine season. The Birmingham BRC Roofing Brummies. Jason Lyons, Rusty Harrison, Ludwig Lindgren, Paul Clues, Richard Sweetman, Lee Smart and Chris Kerr. Sadly Thomas Peach and Jay Hearn unable to be with the side for various reasons, but they've all played their part of course in 2009.
Welcome to addition to the team. Put your hands together then, gents. Rusty Harrison! Rusty, how's this year been for you, mate?
Yeah, it's been tough, you know, to come back from injury and everything and get going again. You know, it's the motivation's there. It's just body's not quite letting me yet, and I need to hit the gym a bit harder this winter and really give it a good go next year.
Took you a few weeks to get dialed into the Birmingham circuit when you first progressed back into the squad and perhaps enjoying it a bit more away, but you eventually got it dialed in and had some really successful rides here.
Yeah, that's it. You know, it did take a little bit of time. Did sell everything last year, so it's starting again, and yeah, we're getting there. I showed a few good races every meeting, I think. Has just got to get fitter and more consistent and better bikes for next year and hopefully come back even stronger.
And come back to the Brummies?
Hopefully, you know, we'll just have to see how it goes and yeah, hope to be back again. I've really enjoyed it.
There we go, you heard it there first, ladies and gents. Put your hands together for Rusty Harrison. Going to go to some of our guests now this evening. First of all, Cruzy. Enjoyed yourself tonight, mate?
Yeah, like always.
That last race was a little bit painful for you with your shed in the primary train in that final heat when you were looking like you were going to be on for a 5-1.
Yeah, it was a shame. It was all settled. We'd settled down going into turn 3 and 4 and the chain went, so it was a shame.
We talked to you a little bit earlier about your thoughts in relation to 2010, and we know that you're hoping to perhaps double up for an elite team and perhaps venture into perhaps a Midlands team for perhaps a Premier League spot as well. So hopefully we look forward to seeing you maybe back here. Would you like to sing Paul back here next year? So we'll see what we can do for you. You need to all write a lot of letters to Santa Claus and see what we can sort out for you. Ladies and gents, put your hands together for Paul Clues. Hi Ludwig, how you doing, mate?
Good, very good.
Quite a few trophies in your cabinet this year. I believe you've had some successes.
Not that many as I wanted to, but it's been an okay year. My first year in England. Have had a lot of help from Mark and his family, and also great support from the Birmingham fans, and it's been good.
Surprised not to see you in the Olympic the other night. I thought you might have get an invitation for that. I think you perhaps thought you'd get an invitation for it as well. You'd have liked to be there with your brother perhaps?
Yeah, it would be cool to beat him in that meeting, but I mean, what can you do if you're not going to get an invitation? So.
I know you've had lots of meetings as well on the continent this year to contend with and stuff, and because some spills and stuff, and it's been a welcome addition to have you back in the Brummies team again this year. And your thoughts for next year? Do you think it's possible that you might be back here, or you're looking perhaps to make a step up next year, or what are your thoughts in relation to 2010?
Absolutely, I want to be in Birmingham. That's my main goal. But
do you want him back at Birmingham? I think that's a definite yes, mate. We look forward to seeing you in 2010.
Thank you.
There you go, ladies and gents. Ludwig Lindgren. Mr. Sweetman. He's enjoyed some time at reserve for this year, and he's done a cracking job for us when he stepped into the main body of the team also. Found it lots and lots of points earlier on in the season when you were coming in and banging in some very, very big scores.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Didn't start off how I wanted to, then it picked up from there and it went pretty good. But yeah, overall it's been a pretty good season, I think, and yeah, I'm happy.
Nice to see your mum over here looking and supporting you when she came over to take a look at you.
Yeah, Mum came over midway through the season, so it was good to see family and whatnot, and yeah.
Just to explain to people, obviously when you were riding down at reserve you were banging the points in left, right and centre. Then when you do step up into the main team, what's the main differences for you, and why did your points perhaps drop then? Because to explain to the riders, to the fans out on the terraces, sometimes they think you're coming up against the same riders, so why is it so much more difficult?
I don't know, I guess the first race you're against all the other reserves, and if you win that you get your confidence up, and yeah, it's all about confidence, I think, and yeah.
Great stuff, mate. And your plans for next year? Are you going home for the winter as well?
Yeah, I'll go home, I'll do a bit of riding and training and work, make some money, and come back, and nothing's been said yet, but see what happens.
Probably booking a first-class ticket back to Birmingham?
Yeah, that's it. I'd like to a lot, and the club's been real good to me, all the team's good, and all the fans are really good too.
I know you've made a lot of friends here this year, and I know the fans really appreciate your efforts. So, ladies and gents, one last time, put your hands together for Richard Sweetman. Here he is, the old dog, Jason Lyons. How old are you, Jason? Tell us how old you are.
How old are you?
I'm 35.
Good on you. I'm older.
He's a little bit older, just a little bit older.
Well, don't be cheeky.
Don't be cheeky. So, first of all, a lot of people have been saying things like, oh, you're retiring, or you're definitely carrying on. You earlier on in the year, I think, pledged your future in relation to Speedway and said, I'm going to stay at Birmingham until the very, very end. So what are your thoughts in relation to next year?
Well, as far as retiring goes, people have too much to say. I've got no intentions of retiring. Whether I get to be back here or not, I don't know, but it's one of those things.
I think you've certainly done a very sterling job when you've been representing the Brummies as a skipper for the last few years. I know the fans all really appreciate your efforts. Sometimes it can be a little bit harder out there. Some of the younger riders, the likes of Ben Barkers and stuff, they're a bit frisky on the bike, and sometimes they can shake you up a little bit.
Oh yeah, we've all been like that. But you know, that's the way the job is, and you got to take it.
There's been a few team changes obviously made by Graham Jury during the year, try and enhance the team. It's always been on the positive, trying to make the team a lot stronger. And sometimes those have worked, sometimes they haven't. But overall, your thoughts on the 2009 campaign? How do you think it's really basically gone for the Brummies?
Well, I think, you know, when Graham's made a decision to change the team around, it's worked in a positive direction. And you know, near the end of the season, we had a very good team. You know, we had a lot of away wins, and not many teams can win away from home. I know we lost quite a few meetings here, but that's the way it is because we've got one of the best racetracks in the league. And
I think overall, although we have lost the meeting overall tonight, the season as a whole has been a really productive season, and we've had some great meetings and enjoyed some really good action down here, particularly when elite league riders come in and they say what a cracking track the Birmingham track is.
Yep, I know it's always great to win meetings, but it's also great to watch some good racing and, you know, get a draw or maybe lose by 1 or 2. There's nothing worse than going and watching a 60-30.
So we can bank on Jason Lyons being back with the Brummies in 2010.
Well, I can't guarantee anything, but you know, you guys own me, so everybody knows my phone number.
This is where your heart is?
Yeah, definitely.
Great stuff. There you go, ladies and gents. One last time, put your hands together for your skipper, Jason Lyons.
Sea Roofing Brummies. Now Centre Green presenter Chris Simpson introducing Gary Patchett, the Swindon promoter, who will join the Brummies promotional team for next season.
Well, we really do have a great bunch of fans, and I know you're going to get a lot of support from those people.
Absolutely, they've got the capability of making their own noise. They don't need the artificial instruments, I'm sure.
And you've already put into the press, I think this week, sometime in relation to the team management and stuff for next season. You've already made some ideas and some murmurings in relation to that.
As far as Graham's concerned, if I hadn't thought that Graham would continue here, then taking Birmingham on would have been a completely different prospect. I said right from the outset when Tony approached me that I wanted any transition to be as seamless as possible, and I saw Graham and Denise's continued involvement as being integral to that. Effectively nothing changes. Mick and I will be involved in the background, but what you see in front of house will be exactly the same as before.
A lot of people got aspirations with Birmingham Speedway to perhaps move into the elite league at some stage in the future. Something you're not necessarily looking at for next year, or something you consider depending on how things work out in the winter, or you're just purely looking to stay Premier League next year?
I've spoken to all the staff tonight individually, the front of house staff and the track staff, the riders. Mick and I have got an elite league background, that's no secret. We're both very ambitious, but you can rule nothing out and rule nothing in. We're a Premier League club at the moment, and we'll be making a statement of intent to ride in the Premier League next year. If the elite league decide that they want another member next year for whatever reason, because of its own instability, there might be an issue at a club or two currently in the elite league, then the elite league have got to come and get us, and the terms have got to be right for Birmingham to move up. I won't take Birmingham into the elite league unless it's in Birmingham's best interest.
That's great stuff, mate. So I think you're obviously going to see the different details coming throughout the winter season. So there you go, ladies and gents. He likes to be called Gary or Pat. He doesn't like Mr. Patchett, he's told us.
Absolutely.
So there you go, ladies and gents. Put your hands together for Gary.
So I'm just going to ask Chris to give one last Brummies war cry. So I want you to deafen me and deafen everybody here with one last war cry which Chris will lead. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Tony. And before we start that, ladies and gents, put your hands together for Tony Mole. We're going to have a quick...
So there we go.
So give us a C. Give us an O. Give us an N. Give us a Y. Who have you got to thank for Speedway at Birmingham? And now for you, the fans.
Now one last Brummies war cry. We'll join in with this one as well. B. R.
Give us a U.
U.
Give us an
M.
Give us an
M.
Give us an I.
I.
Give us an E.
A.
Give us an S.
S.
Who's got the best fans in Speedway?
The Birmingham Brummies, of course.